Recording in progress.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learnt about some mouse events, style binding, class binding like concept. Huh? Have you tried them? So, we learnt one how to apply keyframes actually. So, in yesterday's session, we learnt about how to deal with style binding, class binding. Okay, so these are the options. Yeah. So we designed that example yesterday, and in that we used some concepts. So we learnt about style binding, class binding, and we have seen mouse events, how you use the mouse events. These concepts we learnt. And what is style binding? Can you turn off that light? So what is the concept of style binding is we can apply the styles dynamically to element. So we can apply classes also dynamically to element. So yesterday we done these two examples. So one will spin the image, another one will zoom the image. We can even control the options like stop, start, like on click, it will start, again click, it will stop. They are all in your JavaScript. You learn timer methods, set timeout, set interval, those we can use. So here, one important is we learned all this combination with mouse events. Now, in your JavaScript, the keyboard events you are having, those keyboard events also same here. So what are the keyboard events available So we have on key up, we have on key down. So on key press, on key press. These are keyboard events. Same JavaScript events we use here also. Same JavaScript events we define here. So key up, key down, key press. And in JavaScript, you already learned what is difference between key up, key down, and key press. What is difference? When to use key up, key down, and when to use key press. So what is difference you learned in JavaScript? The same you have to implement here. So what is the difference you learned about them is generally when you are typing something like suppose I am typing JOHN. Now how many keys pressed here? 3 keys only pressed. That's what you learned in JavaScript. In JavaScript, key press means you have to finish a key and you have to key in another key. Currently cursor is in N. That means only 3 keys pressed. Only 3 keys pressed. The fourth key John N is not pressed. But how many keys up? How many keys up? 4 keys up. But not 4 keys pressed. The press will work only when you finish the key and you key in another key. So that is the difference between key up, key down, and key press. Key up, key down will immediately fire up when you press a key or release a key. But key press is recognized when you finish a key. When you finish the key and key in another one, then key press will fire up. That's the basic difference actually. Suppose the same we implement here. Suppose this is your general HTML. Now in this HTML, so we are having some username. So input type is equal to text. First, I am explaining you what is your key event. So we have username and we have some paragraph. Now we are using the event on key press. On key press, I am saying verify. Verify is a function. So we are writing a function called verify. And where username, it will come from document get element by ID username dot value. We are writing a condition. If username is matching with John underscore NIT, then document dot query selector in the paragraph inner HTML, I am displaying username taken. Else I have this sentence and it should say username available. Like this we should have. Currently, what is the event I written here? The event I written is key press. So we are typing here. This is a HTML page. You can directly start in browser and you can test, not React application. I have seen many people coming with a complaint, React not working. And what they are doing is they are running the direct HTML page, right click and view in browser. React is a project. It is not a page. So you have to run only through what? NPM start, not right click and open. right? npm start, right? Now here, see what I am doing. I am typing. So John, username available, John underscore NIT, but it is still showing available. But John underscore NIT is already taken. It is still showing available because that T character is not finished. Even I typed it, it is not finished because which event we return key press. Key press will fire up when you finish the character. How you tell that I finished it? I have to use a space bar. You press any key, you put a space bar. Now it says taken. That's not good. It should not allow space bars and all because again passwords, user verifications will take those blank spaces. We have problem. That means key press is an event in JavaScript that fires up when you finish a key and you key in another key. Key up, key down will fire up immediately. So let's see what about key up, key down. So this time I am not using key press. I am using what? Key up. Key up is good for this. And now I am typing here, John available underscore NIT. It is taken. It is not waiting for a space bar or anything. This is best. So in JavaScript, what you learned when to use key up, key down? When you are dealing with the characters, then you use key up, key down. When you are dealing with the code of characters, that means every character have a ASCII value. You know ASCII values, they start from uppercase A starts with 65. So that means 65 to 90, 97 to 122. So that means 90. So these are nothing but technically ASCII codes. If you are dealing with the code of character, then you have to use key press. If you are dealing with character, then we have to use key up and key down. Why we need to deal with code of character? Because generally we say you entered capital letter, please check. That means how to verify whether caps lock is on or not. So we can verify whether caps is on or not by getting the code of the keys, whether shift key used, whether control key used, whether space bar used. This all we can get by using key codes. So what JavaScript teaches us about keyboard events. So key up and key down are the events used with elements are the events used with elements when you are verifying the input characters. So key up and key down are the events used with elements when you are verifying the input characters. When you are verifying input characters. So key press is used with elements when you are verifying the ASCII code of input character. So key press fires up. So you can say fire up when you finish current key and key in and start keying in another key. That is actually this. So keying in, generally you are using a computer keyboard. So computer keyboards don't type, they key in. So we don't call it as typing. We call it as key in. And when you are dealing with characters, you can deal with this. But recently what they have done is they given a warning in React community that please don't use key press anymore. You use either key up, key down, or use key change. If you are dealing with code of character, use string functions. You learn in JavaScript string functions how to get the character code. Char at, char code at. You learned about the functions. Those functions you have to use. Officially, a React community recommends not to use this key press. Right. So let's see here. Usually, how you handle this situation. That means how to deal with key up, key down, and how to manage. For example, we can use in various places. So what we are doing here, I am creating a simple example. So I am adding one component, key demo, key demo.jsx. Right. So export function key demo. So we have written a container. Okay. So we will keep this key demo in startup. Okay. Now we will create one simple design here. It's a empty. It's not having anything. Okay. So we are creating a design. So register user. And we have a data list and data term user ID. And data definition, we have text box. Input type is text. Okay, so another is some password. So input type is equal to password. Fine. Now what should happen in this is we will create a JSON file in our public folder. I am adding a new file, users.json. In this users.json, I have an array of object and every user have a user ID. This user ID is some John, that is one user ID. So some user IDs are defined here. John 1. So 1, 2. Okay. Another one, John underscore NIT. So we have some users here. Okay. Now what should happen is when user is registering user ID, it should verify and make sure that the user ID you are entering is not taken by somebody. And who are those people who taken your user IDs? These are the user IDs already taken. If I entered any user ID among these, then it should show me a message saying that user ID is already taken. And you try another. User ID is taken, try another. If not, then what it should do is it say user ID available. Currently, temporarily, we are using a JSON file. Later, we will use database. We will pull the data from a database. We verify from the database. We will do that. initially we are having a JSON file for temporary storage data. So here, what we are doing is we are trying to keep some users details and make sure that when user ID is entered, so we are verifying that user. So how we can handle this functionality, right? So first point is we will create a constant and we need to get all the users. Users are present in a JSON file. From the JSON file, we need to get all the users. Directly, we can verify. So first we will write one function like what? So this is users, constant users and set users. And users use state, and it is an array of objects. And what is the key? User ID, its data type is what? String. So that is the data we are expecting from this file. It is an array of what? Objects. We are accessing that and we are using it. Now what we will do is use effect. That means on load, whenever it mounts, what to do? We will use Axios dot get from which location? Users dot JSON. Okay, dot then we are fetching that. And we have response and the response data. That means, so we have set users into that response dot what data. We are collecting the data and setting that in that location. So this is on load. We are collecting the users and we are displaying. Actually, this is not right way. Temporarily, we are doing it. What is the right way? When we design a project, we will see. Because you learned in general OOP languages, if you learn Java, .NET like OOP languages, you learn about lazy loading, eager loading concept. So what is lazy loading? What is lazy loading? What is eager loading in OOP concepts? Object-oriented programming. No, come on, Java genius developers, .NET genius developers, whoever are there here. Huh? What is lazy loading? I think in this batch, a lot of Java developers are there, .NET developers are there. Developers are there means they think themselves. Because we see the attitude, right? They think that they are developers. But they forget that they are learners. Huh? They already have a confidence that they are developers. Huh? So people who think themselves as developers. So what is this lazy loading, eager loading like concepts? They are very common in object-oriented programming, right? What is lazy loading? Lazy loading means an object is created only when it is required. So that means an object for a class is created only when it is requested. Generally, eager loading means an object is created and it is loaded into memory even if you are not using it. But it should be done only when we use it. When we use, it should load. That is a lazy loading mechanism. Actually, you implement this everywhere, right? Because usually OOP languages have a rich set of this concept. Later in TypeScript, I will tell you, because TypeScript supports OOP features. JavaScript don't have all the OOP features, but TypeScript support OOP features. Actually, what happens? Suppose we have thousand records are present. Now, these 1000 records I need to bring and display in the UI. And what I plan to design is I designed a table. But in this table, my plan is to display at a time only 10. Only 10 I can show. What about others? So we will put page numbers here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I right? 6, 7 page numbers we will keep. Now in the first page, 10 records are displayed. Now in second page, next 10, third page, next 10. Now the question here is, you designed a table, you are loading the data into the table. Are you loading all 1000 records or only 10 records? You have page numbers 2, 3, 4. Currently, I am watching page number 1. What about second, third page? Is the data already manipulated in it? If it is manipulated, that is eager loading. If already data is filled into second page, third page, fourth page, why you are filling? If you are not sure whether user will go to second page or not, why you are filling? That mechanism is called as what? Lazy loading. Lazy loading means it will load the second page only when you request the second page. You have seen in many situations actually. For example, you see this is Google. In Google, we have image search. In image search, I am searching for React. So many images came. Millions of images came, but millions of images result came, but all not loaded. Do you know what happens when I scroll down? Then next set will start loading. When I scroll down, then next set will start loading. That means it is continuously loading, but next set will load only when I scroll down. Otherwise, it stops. You see YouTube, Facebook videos, all they load only when you go scroll up or down. Otherwise, they stop. This mechanism is lazy loading. So everywhere in the apps, you will have lazy loading. Every concept of screen that you see currently in apps, that is all lazy loading. So it is very mandatory to implement. And in React, to implement such lazy loading, they have a separate library. Through that library, we can implement such concepts, lazy loading like concepts. So later in React, I will show you. We have ready-made libraries for that. Actually, Java.NET people learn how to do this manually. They have to write logic for lazy loading. They need to design object in such a way that it is created and loaded into memory only when the class is being used. Right? Such mechanisms they have to learn. But what is advantage for libraries and frameworks is they already have built-in functionality. You have to just implement. So in React, what is advantage is we don't need to do that implicitly. It will do it. We have ready-made components and functionalities for that. We'll see in the next level for that. So here, why I explained that, because even if I don't tell this, many people who are working in real-time projects, they will come with a complaint saying that, sir, why you are loading all the records? You have to verify only one, right? That is the reason I have to tell this point, because any real-time developer, he see this code, he will have a doubt. He will ask saying that, why you are loading all the records? Currently, we are not implementing any lazy loading. Later, we will do that. So this is not the perfect way of loading the data. But as of now, we have only 4-5 users list. That's the reason I implemented this. Later, we will implement, because to learn that lazy loading, you need to learn complete concept of components. Then you can handle it. So we'll see. So, okay, loaded the data. Users are ready. Now what we have to do is, we have to verify. That means we will write a function verify user ID. So when to verify user ID? So for every character I should verify. Every character I should verify. So whether that character is matching or not, I should verify. For every character I should verify. So here we are using an event. What is that event? On, key up or key down. We are using key up. Key up is immediately when you release the key. I am trying to use on key press. On key press. So you see they have deprecated that. It will work, no problem. That means it will work. So if a strikeout came means it will work, but they marked for deprecation. Deprecation marking means they warning that in future releases it will be gone. We don't prefer this, right? Currently it will work, but in future releases it will be gone. So what in the next level they will do is they will not provide at all. They will directly show an error saying that on key press is not there, but currently it is fine. So it is there, but we don't recommend to use. So what we have to do, we have to use what? On key up. On key up, so verify user. How to collect what user details they are typing? To collect that user details, we have to use what? E. Because the value they enter in the text box, we have to collect by using E. Here we don't have DOM methods, na? Get element by ID and all. So how you access the value entered in text box? The value entered in text box is collected by using E. E is what? Event argument. So E dot target dot value. It will collect the value they entered in the text box. So what we are doing here is, here observe, so many points are there. So here we will collect the user. How to collect the user here? Here E dot what? Target dot value. E dot target dot value is collecting the user that you entered here. So this is user ID. Huh? User ID contains whatever value you are entering inside the text box. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to verify. How do we verify? We have to read all the users from this users collection and verify whether that user ID is taken or not. Then what you do? I am writing a simple for var user of collection. What is the collection? Users. And here what we have to do, we have to verify if what is this user? User is an object. Because what is this users? Users, you can see users. Users is collecting user ID. It is an array, am I right? Array of object. And this user is an object now, which contains a property called user ID. So if user dot user ID is matching with the user ID you entered, then what should happen? If user ID is matching with the user ID you entered in the text box, then what should happen? So if it is matching, it should show some message saying that user ID taken. Try another. So we will declare a state, a constant. We will declare a state called user error. So, and set user error. Okay, use state, it is just a string. So what we will do here, we will put here set user error. What is the user error? It is a string. What is the string? User ID taken, and try another. After that, it should stop this if condition because it is inside a loop. Then what you do, we have to use a break. Otherwise, else if it is not matching, then set user error, and what it is? User ID available. User ID available. That is the message we want to do. And where you want to show this message, this user error message, we want to show in the data definition below. In this data definition, we want to display the user error. User error message we want to show here. That means now several more points are there. Now you see here, you click inside the text box and you start typing and it says user ID available. And I entered David, then it says taken, try another. So it is already taken. For every character, it is verifying. I am removing this user ID is available. Suppose I entered John. John is taken. John 1 is available. John 1, 2 is again taken. That means it is verifying on every key up. On every key up, it is verifying. So it is checking whether the value is matching with that or not. We are accessing from a JSON and we are verifying that. Now, here you can put colors effects. For example, if it is taken, it should be red color. If it is not taken, it should be green color. So how you change the color of this error message? So what we will do is we learned class binding, style binding in the last session. Because already Bootstrap have classes, text danger, text success, they are Bootstrap classes. So what I will do is error class. So what we will do, set error class is equal to use state. What is the error class? Currently it is empty. Nothing is error class. This error class we will apply to this data definition. So here we will put class name. We will bind which one? Error class. And what should happen here is if user ID is taken, set error class as text success. Text danger. Okay, if user ID is available, then what? Set error class text success. Text success. Now you can see that here we are entering the user ID. So when you are entering, it is user ID available. So you can write more conditions. Name minimum 3 characters required. If your if condition depends on that. So we have John, it is taken. It is in red color. And John 1, then it is available. John 1, 2, it is taken. That is usually we do while working with the key events. Keyboard events are mostly used to verify immediately when user types, right? We can do a lot of things. Here I am just verifying from a JSON file. Suppose below this password, I want to show password strength, strong password, weak password, poor password, password strength we want to display, right? How you display the password strength means for conditions, criteria, we have to verify the password and display. For example, password must be 4 to 15 characters with at least one uppercase letter. That is the condition. How you write the condition in JavaScript? You have to write a regular expression. In JavaScript, you learned regular expression. Let's write for password now. So for password, I will put a data definition. I have to verify the password when user enters. I need to verify its strength. Okay. So we will write another function. And another function, verify password. Okay. It also requires event argument, which will collect the value they entered in the password text box. Now, what is the next point here is we have to verify the password on key up. Here we are writing on key up, on key up, on key up, verify password. Okay. How do you verify the password? So we will verify the password using a condition and we will put some password error also. This is a user error. We will put another constant. This is PWD error, password error, set password error. and use state, we are declaring another string. Okay. Now what should happen here is I have to verify if E dot what target dot value. It is collecting the value from password text box. And whatever the value that comes from password text box is a string. You know, it is a string. And how to verify a string with a regular expression? To verify string with regular expression, we use a method called match. You have JavaScript string methods. Which method is used for verifying the patterns? Match. So match with which regular expression? In JavaScript, how regular expressions are written? Regular expressions in JavaScript are written in 2/. Right? In that, we will use like this: question mark equal dot star square a hyphen z slash w4 comma 15. This is what in JavaScript you learned how to write patterns. Regular expressions, how to write. What is this regular expression in JavaScript? It verifies that your password is 4 to 15 characters with at least one uppercase letter. That is the pattern, how you write the regular expressions. Right now, the password you enter should match with it. If it is matching, then what it should say? So strong password, it should display the message. So set password error, we will put a message called strong password. It is not error, just we are showing the strength, right? Strong password. Okay. Otherwise, if it is not, actually password minimum, how many characters are required? 4. So we will write one more condition. If e dot target dot value dot length is less than 4, that means the password length is less than 4, then set password error, we will put that as what? Poor password. Because a good password must be minimum starting with how many? 4. But even if it starts with 4, it is not a strong password until or unless one uppercase is entered. So here we will put else. If it is not poor password, then what password it is? It is an weak password. Why it is a weak password? Because it is greater than 4 but not matching with this expression. If it is greater than 4, then it comes to else. Right? When it will come to the inner if here into the else, when the value is not matching with regular expression. If value is not matching with regular expression, then what will happen? It will come to this condition. And this condition is verifying its length. Where to display that? We have to display here. Password error should display here. We'll keep that here. What is it? So password error. Password error we are displaying, and here we need to put a class. And class we will use as error class, but error class we need to set up like this. If it is strong password, set error class as text success. If it is poor password, set error class as what? Text danger. And if it is weak password, set error class as what? Text warning. Like this we need to define. Now what happens here? I am typing the password and it should say poor password. So minimum 4 characters I entered, then it is weak password. So still it is a weak password even I am typing so many characters because it is not having uppercase letter. Anywhere I entered one uppercase letter, then it is a strong password. That is the pattern generally we write for verifying whether password is matching with that. It is general JavaScript logic we just implemented through a React event. It's a general JavaScript logic. In JavaScript, key up events, we write like this. We verify patterns, we verify user IDs. So not only this, you have learned in JavaScript how to show strength. You see a bar will be increasing, decreasing. Na? How do we show the strength? We can show the strength by using HTML meter element. We can show by using HTML progress element. HTML have two elements. One is meter, another one progress. Or if you want more attractive, then you can use the bootstrap progress bar. By using bootstrap progress bar, you can display that. Generally, we can use a meter element of HTML, or we can use the progress element of HTML. Actually, you know the meter element of HTML. HTML have a meter element. So here I'm adding a data definition. We have a meter element. What this meter element will have, min is 1, max is some 100, and value is equal to suppose 20. That means the meter shows the progress like this. These are meter elements. In HTML, you have meter element as well as progress. You can use them. But if you want little attractive to show, then instead of meter, what you can do, we can put a progress bar. Progress bar, not HTML progress bar, bootstrap progress bar. Actually, HTML progress also there. HTML progress bar will show like this. Of course, you can increase the value, decrease the value, you can set up that. But what is the best one is, so little attractive, you can put a progress bar. We have a div. We have a class called progress bar. Progress. In that progress, we are having a div. This div will have a class called progress bar. That is having progress bar. That is the progress bar. I will give more effects like progress bar animated. I will use progress bar stripped. Like these effects we can give. Actually, this progress bar is a bootstrap progress bar. It requires a style. And the style I am giving width as some 20%. That means you can see that the progress will be like this. The progress will be like this. This is the bootstrap progress bar. Bootstrap progress bar you can design by using progress. Actually, this width, if it is 80% width, then it will be increasing like this. It will be increasing like that. So if it is 30%, then it will be like this. Usually this we can keep inside the design, and we can put colors, green color, red color, because that's what usually we show, right? Now, how do we display the progress bar? Let's see. Means how we can use this progress bar and design. And remember, the progress bar increment, decrement depends on what? Depends on style width. So this you have to dynamically control. This you have to dynamically control. Several visual effects are dynamically controlled. Not only here. If you see websites, like suppose I am using BMI calculator. This is a BMI calculator, body mass calculator. You have learned how to design like these things in JavaScript. BMI calculator, EMI calculators will be there. We can use all JavaScript functions. Suppose you see, I entered age some 24, height suppose 176, weight suppose 67, and click on calculate. A bar will come here. This is the progress bar of Bootstrap. Actually, what happens? It says you are here, normal weight. Suppose I given the weight as some 87 and calculate, then it will move there. Means how it is moving that arrow from one place to another place. This is not a track bar. This is a visual design designed with CSS. How you can make CSS change? You can make CSS change by using style binding. That's what you learned, style binding. You can do that. Let's do the design here now. So what I will do is to get a uniform appearance. Remember the width I am removing, style width I am not giving currently. Okay, it will be normal. For these controls also, data list I will put a class as W25 and the text box will have a class called form control. Password also will have a class called form control. Okay, now it looks uniform. Now what I want to do is whenever user types the password, I want this bar also to change. That means weak password, strong password, it should change. To change the progress bar, what is the condition? To change the progress bar, the condition is this progress bar class is the condition. Class is okay. So remember, another important is the style is the condition. Style is width. Okay, what we will do is we will create one. Yeah, we will create one constant. This is strength password or say, yeah, password strength. Like this, we given set password strength, PWD strength. Okay, use state. It is an object because we are expecting a style to change, right? It is an object with which property? Width. Width is initially empty. There is nothing defined. Okay. Now what should happen is if the password, where is it? If the password is strong, then what we have to do? Set password strength. It is expecting a style object. Style object having a width. Width I will keep as what? 100%. If it is a strong password, width is 100%. Okay. If it is a poor password, set password strength. Password strength. It is expecting width. Width, how much I will give? Some 30%. Okay. If it is weak password, set password strength. Password strength. And what is the width? Width I will give as suppose 60%. Like this we are giving. Okay, where to show the password strength? Width, where we have to control. Width we have to control for this progress bar. It will have a style. The style object is coming from what? Password strength. It contains the width which is changing dynamically. So what happens now? I entered the password, then it will show like this. It is a poor password. I am entering something, it is a poor password. Now it is a weak password. And what happens when I enter here? One more, it is still weak password. So I entered one uppercase letter anywhere, one uppercase letter, then it is a strong password. That's how we graphically show. And what is the specialty of this progress bar is you can show the text also inside progress bar. That means this text, whatever you are showing, you can display that text inside this, inside that progress bar. That means this password error, you can directly show inside this div. You can show the password error directly in the div, strong password. If I am removing that, then usually what happens, then it says it is a weak password, poor password, it will change that. You are entering something, it is weak password, and you entered some uppercase letter, then it is a strong password. So you can put the text outside, you can put the text inside, we can display. And now I want to change colors of that progress bar. That means if it is poor password, red color. So warning color, success color, we want to change the colors of that. Then how do you change the colors of this? How we can change the colors of this is, so remember colors can be changed by applying one more value to these classes. So all these classes are required. One more class we have to add. That class is BG. If I say BG success, it will be green. BG warning, it will be red, yellow. BG danger, it will be red. Now, how you will change only one class and keep all others like that? You know string concatenation. You know string concatenation. You can use string concatenation and bind a dynamic value there. That's not an issue. So what we will do here, that means what is the point? All these classes must remain same. Only one class will be changing. So how do you do that? So what we will do is, which class to change, that depends here. We need one more. What is it? We need another constant. This is, so BG class. Okay, set BG class and use state. It is initially empty string. Where to apply this BG class along with all these classes that div is having. Then what we can do is, we can I will cut these classes. I will put a dynamic here now. In the dynamic, I will use backtick. You know, backtick is used for string with embedded expression, right? In that, what is the string? The string is this. And in that one more class I need to add, I will put a binding expression. And the binding expression will get the class. What is the class name? What is the class name is BG class. So this one will be changing. All others will be same. There is another method. Usually people who are not aware of modern JavaScript, they don't know these backticks and everything. Usually what they do, they write like this actually. How they do is, they put a concat, right? After concat, they will apply the BG class. They write like this. So, but we don't need that because we know already if it is this, then we will apply a BG class. Binding expression you can add. Now what happens here is, now we need to set the BG class, right? How to set the BG class? If value is matching, set BG class. Set BG class, what it will be? BG success. If it is poor password, set BG class, which wise we have to use BG danger. If it is weak password, what we have to do? We have to define, what is it? Set BG class as what? BG warning. The background class we are changing. Now see what happens here. I am entering the password, then it will be poor password red. And it is weak password. And you entered one uppercase letter, then it becomes strong password. That means we are changing the colors and applying them. So this is a combination of style binding, class bindings, and key events. Yesterday we learned style and class binding. Here we are changing the style, that is width of the progress bar. We are changing the class, that is the background color of progress bar. And we are using the event, what? Key up event we are using. So this is generally used in various locations. And even you know that we can put warnings like whether capital letter entered or not, we can verify. We can put a message, warning message, caps lock on. For that, we know key codes and all in JavaScript, we can get them and we can use them. Usually, so while working with keyboard events, so what are the keyboard related event arguments? Actually, the commonly used keyboard event arguments. Keyboard event arguments, we have like client, not client text, that is mouse related, keyboard related key code. We have key code, we have char code, we have which, we have shift key, CTRL key, alt key, like that. These are some commonly used event arguments. Key codes, character code, and which. Actually, in your JavaScript, you can use key code, character code, but in React, it is recommended to use which. There is difference, you know that. What is the difference? So the difference is key code. What key code will do? So it returns it returns actual key, actual ASCII code of key. It returns code of character according to UTF, Unicode Transformation Format. You learned about UTF format, na? HTML. UTF-8, why you write. So it returns, it is same. It is similar to key code, but cross-browser compatible with various layouts. Various layouts means keyboard layouts. So that is the reason in React we prefer using this which instead of using key code, character code. What shift key, alt key will do? So these all what they do is they return Boolean true or false. They return true when used. Right. So here, for example, means actually in JavaScript, people have an habit of using this key code, character code to verify the code of character. But in React, we prefer using which. Why? Because different keyboard layouts are present. Problem is, keyboards are different types. So we have enhanced keyboard, standard keyboard, we have Windows keyboard, Mac keyboard, layouts are different. So actually, you see notebook like computers. When you see notebook like computers, small devices. So then in those, they will not have F1 to F12 keys. They will have only F1 to F10. Those are all standard keyboards. Enhanced means F12. If a keyboard is having up to F12, F1 to F12, then it is enhanced. If it is not, it is standard keyboard. There are so many standard keyboards. Still people use it. And you know that Mac keyboards are different. Apple keyboards are different. Mac keyboards have a different key layouts. Due to that, what happens is your software cannot understand all the keyboard layouts. That's the reason we need to use a function which is suitable for all layouts, and that is which, right? This is nothing but generally why you need this, suppose, why you need which key used or not. So just because, suppose we are giving a data term, verify code, and data definition input type is equal to text. And what it is like form control, class as form control. Okay. Now, what is the point here is we will put a placeholder. So uppercase, lowercase code only. That means this is the condition, lowercase code only. And if they enter a capital letter, then I should show a warning saying that caps is not allowed. How you know that they entered a capital letter? Any letter they can enter. Any letter they can enter. So, but if they enter a capital letter, then it should show the warning. Then what we do is, usually, I will put a data definition below. This is having another constant. This is code error. So code error and set code error, okay, is equal to what? Use state. And what is the code error? We have to verify code. I need to write one more function here. And that function is verify code. Event argument. Now what we will do here is we will write a condition. If E dot which will return which key they pressed its code. It will return which key they pressed its code. For example, I will show you for your understanding sake. First, I will log it. Console log E dot what? Which. I am using E dot which. Okay. And we have to write here. So on key up, verify code. That event will be accessed. Okay, let's go to inspect. In the console, let's check now. I am typing the key A, that means 65. So, and here it is actually wrong, right? So, for example, if I am using uppercase A, you can see uppercase A. Now it is 65. Actually, uppercase A, this is now fine. 65 it is coming. Right? Any number of times I use it, 65 is coming. Why these 16, 20 are coming? Because I'm using shift key. Shift key code is 16, caps lock code is 20. Whether I entered a cap, whether I pressed caps lock, you see 20 will come. I used a shift key, then it will get that. 65 to 90, it is what? Uppercase letter. So how you write as a developer, you know, in JavaScript, how do we write the logic for this? For example, this data definition have a span class bi exclamation triangle. We will use triangle, exclamation triangle fill, and we say warning. So, and say caps on. So caps on, that is the warning we are giving. So that is warning caps on. And what is its color? We will put the color. This entire we will keep in a div. And for that we will put a class as what? Text warning. Okay, that means it will show like this. That is the caps on. But when that message should display, that means currently it should not display. We want to hide. And we want to display only when the caps is entered. How you can show hide any container? You know, in CSS, we have display none to hide, display block to show. We can show hide by using style binding or class binding. In Bootstrap, actually, we have classes, we can apply that. So this definition should display only when capital letter is entered. So here I will keep another one. What is it? So this is not code error. Code error, set code error. We will put as D none. D none means display none. So I will apply that code error to this data definition. To this data definition, I am applying the class. Class is what? Code error. Display none means by default, it will not show. When to show that? When a capital letter is entered. So what you do here? So here we are using a condition. If E dot, which is greater than or equal to 65, and E dot, which is less than or equal to 90. That means it is uppercase. If it is uppercase, then what should happen? Set which class? Set code error. Set code error we will put as D block. D block will be display block. And otherwise, set code error will be what? D none. D none means it will not display. It will not display. So I'm entering the code here, and code is in lowercase only. Suppose I'm entering the code. So it should, you can see that it is showing the lowercase also. Why it is showing the lowercase? Here again, we have a problem. What is that problem? Currently, we are using which event? Key press event. We are using key press event. And I told you in the definition, see your notes. Key up, key down are used when you are verifying the input characters. Key press is used when you are verifying the ASCII code. Currently, we are verifying which one? Characters or ASCII code? ASCII code. So which event we have used? We have used a key up event we have used. But what is the event required for that? Key press is required for that. Now we said that key press will work now, but it is deprecated. Deprecated means in future what to use? On change. You can use on change. On change it will verify. So, or you have to use char code or other string functions to verify the character. But first I will show you this. Okay, I'm using key press. When I'm using key press, you entered here now. So some code you are entering, lowercase, that's fine. An uppercase letter you are entering, so then automatically it shows warning. And you removed that uppercase and you entered, again normal. Again an uppercase is entered, then it shows warning. And again it is normal. That's how we do. But this event you should not use anymore. That's okay. All these days we are using that. So we should not use that anymore according to the recommendations of React community. It will work, no problem. But how to replace this other events, I will tell you. When we learn other events, we will use that event instead of using that key press event. Right? Initially, when to use key up, key down, when you are dealing with characters. When to use key press when you are dealing with the code of ASCII codes, then you have to deal with that, right? This is the example with all the concept. This is example of what? Key demo.jsx. These are the keyboard events, right? You have learned two categories, mouse events and keyboard. We have touch events, timer events, more complex things that we'll see next session. Right? You need to try this. In the next session, we will discuss other categories. So two categories we learned. What are those? Mouse and keyboard events, right? And we will have doubt session on Saturday. Every Saturday, we will have only doubt session. That means whatever doubts you have on Saturday session, we will have a complete session only for doubts. If you have doubts, every Saturday session will be doubt session. We will clarify all the doubts, whatever you learned till now, we practiced this week, right? So Saturday, we will not have a regular session. Every Saturday, we will have a doubt session. Okay, then tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow we will check with other events. Okay, right.